Back one.
Is it messed up?
Back bottom.
Oh, they're missing.
They're missing the things, yeah. Yeah, we definitely don't need that chair gouging the floor.
Those suckers go.
Stole
Or ate them.
them. Ate them.
You know, the glasses get long.
All right, let's get started.
All four there. All four are there.
All right, so Primerica is growing. The question is, are we? And, you know, we go to a church that everything is great, but we're not so great in it. At least we're going there, and we're hopefully going to pick up what's going on. But if we can be a part of it, if we can be a place that people can look at and say it's growing because of them, it's growing because of that person's attitude, and so our office is growing by several measures. Our numbers are up. Definitely incomes are up, and probably one of the best leaders on that is Paul. You know, his income is way up for the last 12 months, but he'll be the first to tell you that his income was down 12 months ago, and that, you know, he looked at that and decided, hey, I got to make some decisions here. I got to do something different. I can't stay in this spot. This is not what I planned, or maybe was lack of planning. Maybe, you know, I mean, like for all of us, we kind of gravitate, let gravity pull us, and then all of a sudden we decide, wait, I'm too low. I'm not going to let myself be there anymore. I'm going to fight gravity now, and we just put our legs under us and stand up, and hey, that was easy. But we had to make that decision to do that in order for that to come together. And so we're going to talk about a lot of different things in all that, talk about how to apply a whole lot of that. And so let's start with a video. Jose, would you turn out our light over there? Nicole, if you could pull up, I've got the tab for Instagram on there. Other one. Flip around. There you go. There you go. Yeah, that's it right there. You can go and put that up there. So Daniel Alonso, I don't know exactly how much money he makes because he owns like 4 different hierarchies. So probably around $1 million a year. He's not really recognized as $1 million earner because his original hierarchy is something like 400 or 600, and then another one is 300, and then another one is 200, and so he makes $1 million a year, but it comes from different sources. I'm pretty sure he overrides Mario in one of his hierarchies that he owns. I don't think it's his original hierarchy. I think it's another one. A lot of you heard him at the March Madness Summit in Dallas, and I mean, he's a great example of come in the business, get after it, kind of stick your neck out there a little bit. There was a whole lot of stuff that he was doing that everybody's like, okay, yeah, let's see if he actually follows through. Everybody talks big. Well, he backed up what he said, and he's got a great business now. Very successful in a whole lot of areas. They were cash millionaires by the time they were 30 years old, and are raising a great family now, have younger kids. I think, I don't know, like maybe 11 and 14 or something like that. And so he is constantly putting things out there. What can I do? How can I do things to help other people accomplish what we've done? And so he's got this thing on here about about reinventing ourselves. And you know, for most of us, how we show up to Primerica is not even who we want to be, much less who we need to be. You know, we're looking in the mirror saying, "Dang it, what do I do?" And then so he's gonna. I thought this is a real quick. I mean, all of these are real quick. It's not like Instagram has a 30-minute video on there. But I thought this was a good one that we could maybe discuss a little bit. And if y'all have already read it, then you can at least listen to what he says here. So go ahead and play that. Read his book. Sound. Can we have a sound? I don't know.
These were muted.
What is it?
This was.
Oh, it's muted. Okay. Okay.
Reinvent myself. I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking that when I was 21, I wore work boots, jeans, and a white t-shirt, and 99% of the time, I had a baseball hat on. No one was going to take me seriously looking like that. So I decided to reinvent Daniel Alonso. I got to put on great clothes, got to put on nice shoes and nice pants and a nice polo shirt. I walked around with my little pager back then and my little pen in my shirt, and I felt like a stud. I became the best version of me, and that's all I ever wanted to be.
So if you
at 21,
brought a brand new person in the business and they're wearing work boots and jeans and a white shirt and a baseball cap, should you tell them? Yeah, you shaking your head. Yeah, why?
You don't want to set them up for failure.
Okay, but what if you hurt their ego by saying, "Dude, you look like an idiot in that baseball cap all the time"?
I would have worded it like that.
Okay, okay. So you don't have to make them feel bad to help them. And again, this is training, so don't worry about how you're dressed right now. That's not the point here. This is informal, but you know, I had a guy the other day told me, you know, I felt so comfortable at the boot camp because I was watching you wear shorts and flip-flops and a cap the whole time, and I felt more comfortable there. And it kind of made me think, man, maybe I need to do that more often. But then who's going to take me serious if I do that? Am I going to go on an appointment and talk to somebody about their future of their whole life, talk about their $360,000 that's sitting in their retirement account and whether they should put it where I'm suggesting for them to put it, in shorts and flip-flops and a cap? It'd make them feel more comfortable, wouldn't it?
Maybe
comfortable to talk to you, but not to actually do anything business-wise.
You take away the value gap.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, and the reason I bring that up, that was just last night. I was on an appointment last night, 62 and 60 year old couple, ready to retire, trying to figure out whether they should or not. They've got money, and they're trying to decide whether they should listen to me or not. They had actually had somebody else tell them, you need to do this, this, and this with your money. And they ended up talking to me as kind of a second opinion. And so they're trying to decide, should we listen to him? Should we listen to you? And I'll be honest, I was scared going to their house. I haven't been scared like that in a long time. And I don't know, I was trying to put my finger on what was really going on there. What made me so nervous? And I think just because I really cared about the people, I didn't want to say something wrong, do something wrong, look wrong, act wrong. Anybody relate to that? And I don't feel that as much anymore because I've stared fear in the eye and and overcome it over and over and over and over. Isn't that what Joe Rogan says on Fear Factor? That's one of my. I'll watch the whole show just to hear him say that, because it motivates me. It makes me think that's right. That's how you do it. That's whatever scares you, you jump right at that. And so again, going on this appointment, what I was wearing, how I was looking, what I was saying, what I brought with me. I brought my big stack of stuff, and as soon as I walked in and laid it down, they're like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, "Oh no, it's fine. Well, some of this is your stuff. I'll be giving that back to you." Oh, okay. We get to the end. I hadn't even gone over a tenth of what was in that stack, and they're like, "Well, what about the rest of that stuff?" "Oh, we'll talk about it next time." Okay, yeah, sounds good. And so we've got an appointment next week, and we'll be getting back together, and I'm going to show them a few other things. And they're expecting to sign paperwork to move $360,000, unless what I show them is something that entices them more. What I've already shown them, they're already feeling good with. What if when I didn't wear work boots and jeans and a white shirt? I wore if I dressed up, I wore boots and jeans and a t-shirt. Anybody ever seen me in boots and jeans and a t-shirt other than Nicole? I mean, have y'all ever seen me in boots, jeans, and a t-shirt?
Maybe,
a t-shirt, maybe?
I don't know about a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Boots and jeans, I think.
and you know what? Still in my mind, I still relate to that guy. I mean, who joined the business. In a sense, I'm still that person, but I had to reinvent myself, and then reinvent myself again, and then again, and then again, and then right now I'm having to reinvent myself. I feel like what I'm doing is not good enough. No question about it, not good enough. It's not producing people like I want to. It's not motivating people to make a snap and say, I don't care what's uncomfortable. I got to do what I got to do, because that's what happened for me. That's multiple times. So many different things in our life, whether it be business-wise or ministry-wise or marriage or raising kids. I mean, my happiest the thing that Greg said at Family ID that I remember the most and will and keep standing on is, it's so great to be a grandparent because your grandkids don't know how stupid you used to be. Some of you don't know how stupid I used to be. and some of your people are going to not know how stupid I am right now. You see what I'm saying? That reinvent yourself thing, that's important, y'all. It's like enormously important. Now that doesn't mean that don't wear shorts and flip flops and a ball cap. But at the right time, I might start doing that at church a little bit. We'll see what happens. Because this guy was talking about how he's intimidated to go to church, but he felt so comfortable at the boot camp. And it was because of that. And I'm like, hang on, am I making anybody feel comfortable at church by wearing what I wear at church? Or am I making some people feel uncomfortable that way? Maybe I need to reinvent myself. Maybe, here and there. Now, again, all of this is questions for us to ask. It's things for us to say, okay, who am I? Where am I? And more importantly, where do I want to go? What am I looking to accomplish today, tomorrow, this week, next week, a month from now, a year from now? Where am I going to be? What am I going to have that I don't have right now because I've earned it? Because I did the things that, for whatever reason, I wasn't willing to do back then or just didn't realize to do. And so I'm going to do it now. Okay, so there's one more video that I wanted to play of him. It's about this. It's about, okay, so you do it, but then now how do you pass it on to other people? So duplication, he'll say here is key in business. It's really the key in life. That if what you're doing is making you lonely, that's not good. If it's making you feel like, whoa, look at this, we're all doing this together, then that is very good, as long as it's a good thing. I mean, so the video, I think if you go back, it'll show a bunch of videos there, and it's called How to Duplicate. Should be over on the right-hand side. Yeah, okay.
Duplication is everything in business. How do you replicate the process? It's simple. Just get great at teaching your people exactly what you did to get the result that you also want them to get. So what I would do is I spent, hundreds and thousands of hours sitting down with our people, as well as being on the phone with them till all hours of the night, making sure that I was teaching them exactly how I got the recruit, exactly how I got the sale, exactly word for word how to overcome those objections that maybe I got that night that I overcame so effectively. Teach your people. Teach them now.
My thought there is there's a ton of things in life that are very intimidating till you do it, and then you're like, why was I so worried about that?
Mm-hmm.
What? I mean, once I got to their house, they live like way out in the country. I mean, you go to you go way down a road, you turn, you go way down that road, you get to the end of the road, you leave the end of the road, and about a half a mile is their house. Well, that's kind of how I grew up. So I'm like, oh, this is it. This is great. And then I'm following him to his house. He parks. I kind of pulled over out of the way. He's like, you don't have to park in the pasture out there. I'm like, well, you might have a party coming over. He's like, no parties out here. I said, well, okay. And then when we come back out, he's like, don't park in the pasture next time. Come over here closer to the house. And we walk in, and he's like, make yourself at home, whatever you want. Go get some out of the refrigerator if you want. This is your house. Sit down right here. All of that was kind of welled up inside of me of, how do I treat these people? What do I do? Now, let me give you something that was really important there. That was the second appointment. It was at their house. The first appointment was at the office. That's what made me nervous when I kind of thought it through and kind of put my finger on it. It was I didn't get to go to their house and warm up to them. They came to the office, and we had to be business-like. We had to, I had to put on my best face and do my best thing and try to encourage them or not encourage them, try to impress them. Where if I go to their house, now I've got things about them that I can just interact, and we can just have a good time, and we can just be friends, and we'll talk about family, and we'll talk about friends, and we'll talk about each other. And then when I go on the carryback, I'm not going to be worried because I know them and they know me, and it's all good. We'll get them to the office in between, right? Go on the initial appointment, get all their information, invite them to the office, have them come see this is for real, this is good, and then go back and be personal again with them. And so please don't underestimate how important that part of the process is, that we want to go sit with husband and wife at their kitchen table and be on their turf, and their kids are there and their dog is there, and we get to know them and they get to know us and they see this is good. And then they come to the office and they say, wow, this is even better than I thought. I'm really impressed. This is not just somebody who comes over to people's houses and treats them right. This is a big deal. And then, hey, come on back to the house and whatever you tell us, we're doing. We don't even care what it is, really. Where do we sign? Yeah, let's do that. So all of this here, us reinventing ourselves, us showing other people how to do it, doesn't have to be intimidating, other than that it's something new, right? So when you're learning something new, it's going to be, a little worrisome. Our 2 jet skis that we bought, the biggest jet ski is pretty big. And I mean, I don't like to ride a jet ski to just tool around. We're going to go have some fun. And that thing's big and intimidating. And man, I might hurt myself or something. This might not be good. And then Haley and I have been out a couple times now, and she's hanging on. And yesterday we almost came off. Her arms went out, and my arms went out, and I was able to hang on, and she was able to hang on. I'm like, okay, I'm ready now. But that took. Okay, I got to push the window a little bit. I got to, and I'm not saying go be dangerous like that, but danger is not a bad thing. This safe junk. If y'all haven't read the article that I sent out on Twitter from Mike Rowe, the Dirty Jobs guy, that is now like, he is going everywhere talking about education. Formal education is killing our society. Thinking that we can go sit in a classroom and learn how to do life is not getting us anywhere. And so he's talking about trade schools and teaching people trades and apprenticeships, and he's going before Congress and doing all that kind of stuff. And in a sense, he's touting our business. He's saying, hey, take normal people and put them in situations that aren't real easy, but then they're going to do it a few times and they're going to say, this is not that hard. And so he's talking in there about the Boy Scouts and how the Boy Scouts, I won't spoil the article for you because you need to go read it, but how the Boy Scouts taught toughness, right? Are you an Eagle Scout? Yeah. It taught toughness. It was all about. What's that?
So is he the British Bulldog?
You know about that British Bulldog?
British Bulldog's a wrestler, isn't he?
Did you read the article?
You had to read the article.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It made me think a whole lot different about the Boy Scouts.
Man, oh man. But that's the point here is this, that safety seems good. Safety is our biggest enemy. It's being dangerous is what's good. And I'm not saying go hurt yourself. Not when we think of danger, we think of thrill seekers, right? Is that what most people are? No, yeah.
Like action movie.
Action movie.
Something blowing up in the background.
Okay.
Barely
Okay.
getting out of it.
So something that sounds good, but you never do.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
At least not on purpose.
That's not real danger. Real danger is the thing that is making you scared to death, and you do it anyway, and then you overcome it, and now you're a different person. Now things in your life start happening, opposed to continuing to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Right? Hey, if it didn't work, don't do it anymore. That's a pretty easy principle. If it's not getting us what we want now, we got to figure out what we want. What I want to get to is the next builder school. So we got the great frame over there that Nicole put together for us. So we can think about, okay, where we're going, what we're doing, how we're using that. It's not just going to be what we go and learn. It's going to be what that does for our life, for our business, for our influence, for the people around us. But even before then, next Saturday, we're doing a Memorial Day party at the house in place of training. And so how are we going to use that? Why are we even doing that? I mean, what's the goal? Are we tired and we need a break? No way. That's not even partially the goal. That's not even a little bit the goal. So let me give you a few more things to set that up before we get to that spot, though. We have now what we call PFN TV, Primerica Freedom Network, that you can. We probably shouldn't even call it TV, right? Because it's streaming, and that's not on the TV. I guess it can be on the TV. I don't know. Anyway, we used to have EPN, Entrepreneurial Network, and it was on satellite. Like you literally had to have a satellite on the top of your office to receive it from wherever and put it to the TV, and the channel only worked once a week or twice a week, something like that. It depended. They would do special things, but I mean, you'd have all of this to be able to watch the home office show on Monday morning. And a long time ago, Art Williams used that. What was it called back then?
MMMM. Well, that's the show. Monday Morning Managers Meeting.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
ALWTV.
ALWTV was the name of it, and then they would do Monday morning managers meetings. Y'all recall that? And when John Addison took over the company, prior to that, Joe Palmieri that was running the company, he would kind of run it like Art did. He would be on there most of the time talking about what was going on, and here's what's going on with the company, and here's what you need to know, and here's what I need you to do. And he'd have a speaker or two that would come from offices around the company. But then when John and Rick took over, John said, we're just going to let an office take over the show every week. And so the very first show was Hector Lamarck. It was in 2000. And Hector came and he brought two guys with him. He brought Kurt Joyner and he brought Brendan Merton. Both of those guys were making like $200,000 a year, something like that. Hector was making about $3 million a year at the time. And they just started kind of talking through what they were doing. You know, here's where we are. This was about 3 or 4 weeks before our first Hawaii trip. So our very first company trip. So, you know, I'm watching this, trying to take it in and figure out, hey, is this something I can use? That show, I can tell you all kinds of stuff about what was going on there. Brendan was talking about how your business has everything to do with the people you bring in and what you can help them to do. So he said they're running a lot of their business out of their Tuesday nights and Saturday mornings, and they would challenge their people to grow the attendance of that team. So you come and you come back and you bring people with you, and you get them to come back and you get them to bring people with them. And as that gets bigger and bigger, we'll reward you. So he said, you know, they would do like a pizza party for the team that got to 10 brand new people, or the team got to 30 people as a whole, then they would do something special. They would, you know, have everybody over to the house, or, you know, something like that. And he said, this thing is working like it's supposed to work in theory. I thought, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I get that. I see that now. This is not just whether I come to training or not just whether training was good or not. It's about who's here. How many people are here? How many people are hearing this? How many people are catching what's going on? Because somebody in there is going to bring to the table some things that they learned somewhere else, and they're going to start applying it here. And really making some things happen. And if that's somebody on your team, then wow, okay, some stuff can really come together. Well, then what happened during that time, Brendan had recruited a guy named Brandon Neal, and Brandon Neal became $1 million earner. I'm pretty sure even before Brendan did. And Brendan recruited a guy named Jeff Fieldstad that ended up leaving. Where are they? Somewhere.
Las Vegas.
No, I'm talking about Brendan, Utah. Brendan's in Utah. Brandon's in Utah. Jeff left there, went to Idaho, where Kelsey is from, and recruited the mother-in-law, and they built a crazy good business up there. And I mean, absolutely exploded. And then they left there and went to Nevada. And so where did that come from? Came from pizza parties for getting 10 people there. I know that because I watched it happen. I heard on EPN TV in January of 2000, Brendan talking about here's what we're doing. And then all of a sudden here comes Brandon and he's killing everybody. And Brendan was actually like, I've got more of a business than just Brandon. I've got a whole lot of people that are doing well. But Brandon was he was the rabbit. He was the one sticking his neck out there doing whatever it took. That's when loans were really big, and a lot of them made a ton of money off of smart loans that we were doing back then. So that was Brendan, and that's what I caught from that. And then what was pretty cool was when we went on the trip to Hawaii, that was like the top tier trip. So not only did we stay in a room that was $1,000 a night, they gave us a $600 credit on our room tab. So it's like, go do whatever you want to and charge it to your room. And so we spent most of that on a trip. They took you and they put you on this boat. It was like this big tube boat with these two big giant outboard engines on it, and flew across the water, and here, jump off and go snorkel here and see the turtles, and come over here, we're going to go chase down the whales, and come over here, we're going to take you up in a cove. And guess who was on the trip with us? Not Brendan, but his wife, Michelle. And so they're actually not married now, and she is an RVP, and he's remarried, and that's a whole nother story. But I got to meet her, got to with Rafa and Susan Bastidas. They were also on there. Susan is Michelle's sister. So then Rafa and Susan got in the business. They end up leaving and going to Spain and starting Spain, and made a bunch of money over there. And then when Spain shut down, they moved back here. And Igor Roca in Houston is direct to Rafa and Susan. So and they're at like 350,000 right now. They got RVPs that are killing it. They've only been in Houston for 6 or 7 years, and they built all of that just in the last 6 or 7 years. For me, all of that started on an EPN show in 2000. If I'm not showing you that, telling you that, helping you with that, I'm messing up. I'm not duplicating in a way that I should. The second person that was on that show was Kurt Joyner. Kurt is direct to Hector. So imagine growing up in the business and your RVP makes a couple $1 million a year and he recruited you. Kurt talked about on there, Hector would tell me do this, this, and this. And I would do most of those things, but not all of those things. And so my business wasn't growing near as fast as it should. But then I went from 100 to 200 to 300 to 400, and all the time messing the whole thing up. I'm like, man, what a great life. That sounds good. I'm just going to keep messing this thing up. That was really encouraging to me. I felt like, that's the key. You just keep messing it up, and good things are going to happen. And now I didn't realize till later the fact that he had Hector right there, and he could bring people to the office, and they could see somebody who's making money and has built a business, that helped him to grow a business. Well, Kurt makes like $465,000 now, but has since 2000. He's not one of the big guys in the business, but not too bad. Yeah, not a bad spot to be in. He's also one of the original 8 or 9 guys that started the boot camps. They got that together out in California, and then our Texas boot camp started off of that, and then where all of that has gone now. They're the Southern California whatever team or
Breakfast Club.
Yeah, they called it Breakfast Club, but it's something different now. That they Builders Club, I think it's what. Okay, yeah. So he's part of that, and a few years ago, his son got in the business, and they jumped on it, and now he's a regional leader working in Kurt's office. So again, that there wasn't a ton of things that Kurt said that I thought, okay, I got to start doing that. Other than I got to not stop what I'm doing. I got to not always question myself, and maybe I'm not good enough. Yes, I'm definitely good enough. But there's things that I need to do to make myself better. And then Hector spoke on there, and this has been on the bulletin board ever since. I've reprinted it probably 7 or 8 times because it just got older and older. This piece of paper is not 18 years old, but this saying is 18 years old, and I'll try to duplicate what he said and the way he said it, but leave out just a few words that he used that I don't usually use. And here's what he said. He said, if you're getting tired, it's because you're spending time with people who don't have a prayer making it. Not because they're not capable, but simply because they aren't willing to do the work that it takes to become successful. You tell them, read this book, listen to these tapes, and show up to this meeting, and they do half of what you tell them to do. Then you're pouring your life into them, and it's like pouring your life into a bucket with big old gaping holes in it. Then you get frustrated and angry, and it's your own fault. Treat those people nice, but invest your time with people that care. I've been getting tired lately, y'all. And Hector says the reason I'm getting tired is because I'm spending time with people who do half of what I ask them to do. It's not because they aren't capable. It's simply because they aren't willing to do what it takes to become successful. Let's change that. It's a simple decision for all of us. But there's also big merit in what Brendan said. Let's make this thing work like it's supposed to in theory. Let's just keep getting people around, new people. And new people say, this is great. You're right, this is great. I got new guy, Mike, he and his wife, Sarah, and Mike set an appointment with a couple that he teaches with. Well, they're about to be out of school for the summer, and the couple comes in. She works at a bank. He's a teacher. Coming to find out, he also owns a business on the side, and they're looking. They're looking for, what are we going to do with the rest of our life? They make decent money, but they're looking for, who are we going to be? What are we going to be? They got 3 little girls, and they're coming this next Tuesday night, and I'm crazy excited about that. Now, are they going to come in and beat y'all? No, they're not. Because you're going to stay ahead of them.
That's right.
but they're going to come in and whip everybody who decides to stay right where they are. Or maybe it's not them. Maybe it's somebody else. But we're going to find them. We're going to keep doing what Brendan said, getting more and more people around and used to being here. But then we're also going to treat the other people nice and invest our time with the people that care. Now, that's a little tough, isn't it? It's a little dangerous. That's a little ugly to the people who are around. But in order for us to move forward, Hector titled that, it's the key to staying fresh. If you're not fresh, it's not because you're not sleeping enough. Right? Ashley was asking me, when do you sleep? I'm like, old people sleep. I don't need to sleep. Because there's just so much to do, so many things to take care of. We life is a flicker, and if we don't take advantage of it, shame on us. If we're just being selfish and doing whatever we want to do, selfishly, not what we want to do because, man, I want to serve, I want to make a difference, I want to come through. So let's talk about this Memorial Day party. So I've talked to some of you already about this, but Nicole and I were really kind of trying to nail all this down, trying to decide, okay, what time do we start? What time do we end? Do we want to find a way to like kick people out if they won't leave? Do we want to, keep the doors locked until a certain time? Do we want to feed people? Do we want to have the jet skis out, or do we want to put them up? Do we want to have a big blow up thing for the kids to be on? Do we want to have the cheapest food we can find, or do we want to have big crazy ribeye steaks? I mean, what are we doing here? And so one of the things that I felt like I've never really thought through far enough in my head is, okay, this is a piece of the puzzle that we're trying to accomplish long term. So number one, if there is a number one thing, it's to lead people to the Lord. Either the unsaved or the saved, but closer to that man, that has been so awesome for us to live a life of you don't have to worry. So that's the number one. So if people are coming around and they're seeing that, then that's what we want to accomplish. Number two is lead them to a better financial life. So for them to be saving their money, to not be blowing their money, to find ways to bring in extra money, to just be. I mean, truth is, finances is the number one thing that messes with people. It's the thing that they worry about the most, that they gripe about the most, that they get mad at people about the most. And so if we can change that, and a party at our house would help that, then that's what we want to accomplish. And then the other two things are to get people to do that for other people. Does that make sense? That we're leading people closer to the Lord. We're leading people to financial betterment, and then we're leading people to lead people.
You forget yourself.
Basically, yeah. I mean, if they did it differently than we do, I got no problem with that. But the end result has got to be that that we're leading people into that. So if we invite whoever, because that's even a question, is who do we invite? We haven't sent this out on Group Me because there's a whole lot of people not showing up. Do we want them there? do we not want them there? Are we inviting them or are we not inviting them? Is this just for us? Or is this just for people who really want to get people around and really want to make some things happen, not just show up and eat the food and have some fun and take a break? Hey, I don't deserve a break. I haven't done near enough to have a break. Right? Everybody relate? But that doesn't mean we can't have fun. Fun doesn't have to be a break. Fun, matter of fact, that's quadrant 4, right? For the training that we've done in the past, quadrant 4 is no future value. No, okay, now you did it. Now what? Who cares? Quadrant 2 is intentional but not urgent, or important but not urgent. Then the intent would be next Saturday that we do some things that's not urgent, that if we didn't do it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it's very important that when people show up, we are being very intentional all day, the whole day. We're in the fun that we're having, in the conversation that we're having, in the food that we're eating, in who brings the food, in who's responsible for whatever, whether it's where the water hose is or what food gets brought somewhere or what gets locked or what, whether there's toilet paper there. I mean, all of those things are important. We're not trying to entertain. We're not charging admission, right? We're instead trying to turn that into something. Now, is that a picture? Does everybody kind of have a picture of that? So where does that start? And there's no right or wrong answer. The idea here is, instead of us making this determination, we want to kind of have a discussion and then make some decisions based on that. Maybe right now or maybe just later today. But where does that start?
Are you asking where does the decision start?
No. So those are the things we're trying to accomplish. So what are some key components to making decisions that make that happen?
I think it's just your mindset. Like, you got to start off thinking about those things to even make decisions that go along with it.
Okay.
Like, everybody has to think of those things.
Right. Okay. So then if I understand, like for example, last weekend we had the boot camp reunion thing, and Corbell's sister got married. Well, he should be at his sister's wedding, right?
No, he should have been at that. He was only there because of his mom.
You're
So everybody has even a decision of whether I'm even going to be there or not, right? Okay, but I'll just say this real simply: we don't need you there. That's not. We're not trying to fill up our yard. We're not trying to. It's not like a Tuesday night where if I invite somebody and they come and there's only 2 people here, it's kind of awkward. So it's good for you to be here on Tuesday night, even if you're by yourself, because maybe you'll catch the fact that you're not supposed to come just by yourself. You're supposed to come always, but you're not supposed to come just by yourself. The goal is not to come and, dear Lord, please help me get it this time. Now, if you're at that point, that's where you're at. But that's not the goal. That's not the right. I think
you said it there. The first decision, really, after you decide you're going to be there, is decide which one you're going to be. You're going to be a contributor to the environment versus a consumer to the environment.
Yeah, and a contributor could be, dang it, I couldn't get a single person to show up, but I'm going to be there. I'm going to be encouraging. I'm going to be watching what other people are doing, and I'm going to make this thing happen. Next time we do this, I'm going to know what it looks like because I showed up and I paid attention to what it looked like, didn't just show up and consume. I guarantee you there's been 300 people come to our house over the years and just consume and had no idea what we were even trying to accomplish. What are y'all doing here? Eating? That's great. Thanks for inviting us. See you next time. Right? And as if it's our job to feed them. I mean, what is that? But if we don't know for sure what we're looking to accomplish, and I say we, all of us, not just me and Nicole, but we even have to remind ourselves. I mean, because it was, we were real close to forget it. What are we doing? What are we trying to? This is stupid. You know, we got people just showing up and not bringing a single person. Been here 6 times and not brought a single person. Are we really accomplishing anything? Is our system all messed up? Is our intention wrong? Are we just the suckers here? You know, what are we really looking to accomplish? Now, what if our goal were to, kind of like the corporate thing, get together, get everybody from the office together and appreciate everybody so that we all know we're appreciated and we're a better team together. We had some fun together, so now we work better together. Wouldn't be anything wrong with that. But that's not our goal, because all that does is that helps us make a whole lot of money and y'all struggle. Right? That's not the goal. The goal is for you to get to where we're at so we can move up. And the truth is, even if we didn't move up at all and it helped you get to where we're at, that's what we care about at this point. Even if we had to go down for you to go up, we would be willing to do that. Great part about Primerica is that's not the way it works. You don't have to do that. So it's the come, and every time that somebody doesn't immediately commit to, hey, I'm going to be there, I know their mindset's already messed up. It's maybe I got something more important. Maybe you ain't ever going to have a business. Now, I don't say it that way, right? Not the, why are you looking so stupid in that ball cap? Hey, I wear a ball cap. I love to wear a ball cap. If I could just choose that at the boot camp, I get to choose. And that's exactly how I want to look. And that's exactly what I want to do. And I love it. It's awesome. And nothing wrong with the way I have to dress to portray the correct image. I'm not faking it. It's not something I don't want to do. I'm not posing. I'm just doing what the situation needs. Doing what works for everybody. So again, if you're wanting to be a part of that, you want to be someone who leads people closer to the Lord through the way that we do it, lead people to a better financial life through the way that we do it, then we want to teach you how to do that. Now, here's what has to happen. Here's what I do for those is we make a decision that we're going to do that. We decide kind of what the time frames are, what we're going to be doing. Are we going to have a bounce house? Are we going to have, the jet skis out there? Are we going to rent something? Are we going to have tables and chairs, or is everybody just going to stand up? And then I sell that to a whole lot of people. Mike, our newer guy that I was talking about, that's bringing the couple this next Tuesday. You know who recruited him for me?
No.
Our family pastor at our church. He said, "Hey, Mike, you need to meet Johnny Birchfield. He leads the men's ministry at our church." Mike's like, "Heck yeah, that sounds good." And then I invited Mike to a couple of men's ministry things, and we got to know each other. And I said, "Why don't you come down to the office?" "Yeah, sounds good." And then here's where we are. Now, that's prospecting. That's you putting your best foot forward, you being the person that you're supposed to be, but with the intent eventually to lead them to the Lord, lead them to a better financial life. Okay, so mindset obviously is important. Okay, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to fill in the blank. Y'all help me.
Bring people.
I'm going to bring people.
Not just to eat.
What's that?
Not just to eat.
Okay, right. Not just eat. Yeah. Who are those people going to be? Breathing people?
Hopefully.
Is it going to be the same people that you've gotten to come before that obviously are not at a spot where they even care at all? Probably not, right? Maybe so. Truth is, I usually still invite those people, knowing they're usually not going to show up if I don't keep after them. I'll invite them once. They probably won't respond. And then now I'm positioned in their life as somebody who keeps pursuing them, even when they run. Even when they're being stupid, they know I'm not going to be stupid. Anybody ever get lured into being stupid? Boy, I grew up learning how to win an argument. If there's one thing my family taught me, it was how to win an argument. Whether you're right or wrong, you can be right. You can win. And so even today, that's the way my brain works. I want to win the argument. I want to say hurtful things. I want to be right. I want them to be wrong. And that doesn't accomplish anything. So instead, when those people came last time and they would show up to eat, but they won't even show up the next day to Sunday school. Are you kidding me? I want to just rip their head off. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invite them again. But I'm not going to chase them down. Because I know almost always I'm going to have to kind of chase them down to get them around. And there'll be a spot where I know they're hurting bad enough that I'll go be the one that helps, that potentially pulls them out of where they're at, gets them in a different spot, helps them to see a different thing, a different way. So how many people might I need to have within that? How many people might I need to invite if I'm going to actually influence 10 or 15 or 20?
At least double that.
At least double, right? Any other thoughts?
4 times.
What did you say?
4 times.
4 times?
300 people.
300 people. I think it's that many, but it's definitely 150. A lot, a whole lot. I mean, because think about when you go to church and you sit there and all those people are in church, how many people aren't there? More than is there, right?
Yeah.
So why would we think to get this many there that we would only need this many, or even this many? I mean, we need like this many. How many people were invited? How many people? in order for us to accomplish what we're looking to, now some people are going to be out of town, right? It's Memorial Day weekend. I mean, that's when people travel and go on vacation and, you know, have plans already and do whatever. But there's some people that we're really looking to influence, right? Some people that if we believe in our mind that if we told them, read this book, listen to these tapes, show up to this meeting, we probably won't say listen to these tapes, right? But if we got in a position where we could tell them those things and they started doing those things, they started getting results, that life would change for us all. That's called recruiting. Recruiting to what? Recruiting to the life that you're going after. You're not going to be able to do that without serious effort. You know, when I was 24, getting started in the business, really involved at church, getting involved in Primerica, getting my licenses, all that kind of stuff. There wasn't a whole lot that was impressive about me. It wasn't where I could go talk to people who were, you know, 35, 40 years old and say, hey, come follow me. Instead, I had to say, hey, come follow these people I'm following. Come to my church and see my pastor. Come to my office and meet my RVP. Come be around this right here. And things would happen. And that was a lot of the success that I had. It had very little to do with me because really, if they looked at me very long, they'd kind of turn up their nose a little bit. You know, be like, oh, okay, yeah, I appreciate your effort, but I don't appreciate where you're at right now. So we've got to get people there, and we got to get some right people there. Think in your head. There's some right people, you know, right? Right.
Absolutely.
Some people, is that a little intimidating? Those right people? Feel the fear and do it. Right? Don't go chase after those. Who was I talking to not too long ago? We were sitting in a restaurant or like a fast food place. Okay, see that sharp couple right over there? And see that guy sweeping the floor? Which one's easier to talk to? That's right. So why don't we go prospect him? We're going to have to, he's going to be easier to get around because he's got nothing going. But he's going to be the hardest to get anywhere. He's sweeping the floor for a reason.
It could be his third job, and he really needs you to talk to him.
And the other 999 times out of 1,000, that's not the case. I mean, I appreciate the fact that you want to think that way, but if you do that, it's going to be an exception if you have a business, right? Art said, people would ask him, I got this young guy, he's sharp, I know he'd be successful at this, but he's an exception. He's not a 4 or 5 pointer. He's not married, doesn't have kids, he's not any of those things. Do I recruit him? Go ahead and recruit him. He's an exception, though. So recruit him and then recruit 9 of the others, and then now you can add 1 more of him, and then you recruit 9 of the others, and you can add 1 more of him. Because if you build your business on exceptions, it'll be an exception if you have a business. So when you hear me say that, that's what I'm thinking. That I've learned all these things over the years where if we don't apply this, we just keep dealing with the guy that sweeps the floor and hoping that one day he turns out. We're getting tired, y'all. And it's not because we put in a whole lot of effort, it's because we put our efforts into the wrong place. When we put our efforts into the right place, there's more energy that comes out of that. Right? I mean, you go do something that comes back to you, you get what you're expecting, now you want to do more of that. It's to stay up late, to get up early, to put in crazy effort is what you do on purpose. Okay, so let's talk kind of like schedule of the day. But we have in the past started at 9:30 with training and ended at midnight with UFC. And no problem with that. Total energy, because we got like 4 waves of people that came. You know, the people who came for training, and then some of them stuck around, but some of them had plans, had to go somewhere else. People who came for lunch, some that weren't in the business, so they didn't come to training, but they were still around, and were able to have a good time together and go out on the boat and go do whatever kind of fun stuff there. And then people that came dinner time, and we'd already eaten lunch, but we had leftovers and we had other things, and we went and grabbed some more food and you know, ate and hung out, and then UFC that night, and you know, the competitors, the ones that are, hey, let's watch people fighting, because we want to fight. We want to learn what they're doing to keep on fighting in life. And then at midnight, we can't go to sleep. You've been going all day. Aren't you tired?
Excited.
Key to staying fresh. Spend time with the right people. Invest your time with the people that care. Treat the other people nice. And even in like that day that I'm thinking about, there was a whole lot of nice people that showed up, and they were around, and that was good. And that, you know, in our mind, hey, that's going to turn out. And for some of them, they've stabbed us in the back 47 times with no remorse at all. But you're going to have to allow that to happen, to have the people who say, hey, I'm in, I'm committed, I'm willing, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And then even some of them that have done that have left, but it's not like we didn't change their life. It's not like they're not in better shape. They're closer to the Lord, and their finances are better. They're not helping us lead people closer to the Lord and make people's finances better anymore, but other people are, and that'll continue, and that'll get bigger. So, does anybody have input on what you think we should do? And but before you say anything, please don't give me anything that has fear involved in it. So if you're feeling like people might not show up, you know, if we invited them, might not work, or people might not appreciate it, don't give me any of that. I got plenty of that already. So let's verbalize what we think could produce some good results. You know, if we started at 6 a.m., would there be some people who showed up? And that would be beneficial for them. If we stayed until midnight, which there's not a UFC card, but we got some recorded if we wanted to watch it. But there's all kinds of things that we could do in there. There's an option of, again, we've got the jet skis now, so we can do that. We can rent a big either bounce house or like the blow up slide thing. We can have chairs. We can have tables. We can cook. We actually have a lot of grass in our yard now, so hadn't washed all into the lake yet. So yeah. Something else I was thinking there. Again, just options. There's plenty of options. So if you said, I think if we did this and this, you know, that could be beneficial. So thoughts?
And there's something about jet skis that people love. I mean, Bill say his first time on a jet ski, man, if y'all saw her legs, they were all types of bruised up. And every time we go to my Toto's house, I'm scared to get on the jet ski. And she's always mad. I don't go to jet skis. I mean, if we got jet skis out there, man, I bet we get a ton of people out there. Just
okay.
Back and just,
okay.
It's the right jet skis.
Okay, so does the jet skis help us to lead people closer to the Lord, lead them to a better financial life?
Yeah, I mean, you get around good people have fun. There's a connotation that people who go to church are sticking with, and then also showing that, hey, the only way you really get jet skis is you're doing something well financially,
Yeah.
or you're spending all your money. So you get around somebody who's doing well financially and has jet skis, painting a picture of both those sides.
Okay. So then we need to be very intentional about our conversation around that, either while it's going on, or afterwards, or before, whether it be training that we do before. And again, the less I have to prepare, the better, honestly. but if I have to prepare every single thing of the whole day, I'm willing to do that. But for all of us to be in the, okay, if so and so shows up, we need to have a conversation about where this money came from and why these people do this. It's not just because they're got extra money laying around, just want to throw it away. It's not because they're lonely and want somebody to come over and hold their hand. It's because they're trying to, and be able to share those things. And then if the conversation could get into specifics, where do you go to church? And, we don't want to be too bad about it. Well, if I went to church there, I wouldn't be very excited about going to church either. Or the financial side. Okay, yep. Everybody they blow their money, they do stupid stuff with it. But what if you did it this way and this way and this way? What if the extra money came in and you did? You're having to live on this, but then what would you do with this? And being able to have those conversations. So. That's the intent. And with that, can't you think of more people? More people that, hey, if they showed up and we could have that conversation, even if they didn't even get on the jet skis, even if they just sat there and watched, what could that look like? Oh, yeah, we've got potato guns from the boot camp that we could bring out, that we could shoot if we want to do
people
that.
on the jet ski.
You could totally.
Yeah,
That would really hurt.
Yeah.
I've been in the
Just a
boat
bruise.
seeing the potato come, and it's a little interesting.
I think anything that's going to make it more memorable for people. So like the jet skis, like that's something that they're going to remember, something they're going to look forward to, and they'll think, oh yeah, we went over, we had jet skis, And so that the blow up thing, I think all the kids just love the slides every time we've done it before. So I think that's something, if the kids are talking about it later to the parents,
Right.
then they're remembering the time that we had there.
Okay. So then how do we use that? Because again, if people have shown up, because I can think of a few families very specifically that have come and consumed, and the kids consumed a whole lot, and they're doing nothing, not leading anybody in any good direction at all, not even doing well themselves.
It's
So-
not for the person that has no interest or potential. They just want to come have fun on the jet skis. It's not for the parents to just come dump their kids and let them do the water. I mean, they're there, but they'll be entertained for a little while.
So how do we
That's
decide
kind of the
that?
point. Yeah.
Because again,
Right.
we're not looking for what we don't do.
Right.
We're looking for what we do. Now, in there is going to be, so there's some things that we want to be careful of, but we all got 10,000 of those things in our head already, right? And the people who've messed us around, and it makes it feel like serving people is not good. Spending your money on people is not good. Investing your time or spending your time on people is not good.
But if they don't know the Lord, then it's good. If
Okay,
they
so
come
if-
around more people, I mean, I can think of a few different couples that I've invited. They haven't come, but I would still want to invite them on the hopes that they don't have plans, so that we can pour into them and show what Christianity really looks like.
So then for them, potentially not just saying, hey, what do you got going? But, hey, I've got this situation where there's going to be a lot of good, positive families, and we're going to have food, and we're going to have jet skis, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Why don't you just cancel everything you got and come on out? That would be a much different, if I know for sure that they're struggling spiritually, or they're struggling with their marriage, or they their kids are going off the deep end, I'll pull out all the stops. I mean, I'll hurt myself to help them. No question about it. So it's not just checking with people. You start with that, right? Check, hey, what do you got going? Hey, think you could come? But then being willing to go above and beyond, and hey, you need to be here. I absolutely, positively, you need to be here. What else? What are some other thoughts here on? I mean, Nicole made a good point there. And again, I don't want to camp out too much on, well, we don't want this, we don't want that. But what do we want, though? And what do we need to do that's going to accomplish what we want?
It sounds like to me the biggest thing you ought to be looking for somebody to ask you a question. I mean, it ought to be, hey, what do they do? What kind of person are they? Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's something that we've seen, just being at Corner Bakery all the time, that we're starting to get, a lot of results from. We got an appointment set with several of them. Mm-hmm. Just did business with one of them yesterday, or, yesterday and, prior to that. Mm-hmm. I mean, just getting what can you do to get somebody to ask that question? Mm-hmm. Hey, what do you do? And then also, getting them to see that you are a good person, because if we had been at Corner Bakery, and every time I saw us, we were being, rambunctious kids, quote unquote, they wouldn't have been asking us, what do we do? And now they're all
asking you to leave.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, now, they give us free food all the time. We never pay for coffee ever, but I think it was because of being intentional about being in a place where we wanted to work, but then also being intentional about respecting their environment, knowing that the outcome eventually would be, hey, what do you guys do?
Excellent. And again, that's why, I mean, Mike Tuttle taught us this. He started to thousands and thousands of people. Most people haven't learned it. They've seen it. They heard it. They've even experienced it. They've been to his house. They've been to the Easter egg hunts. But then they just consumed it and they left. And it's memorable. I mean, he's created some great memories out of it. But for whatever reason, there's a whole lot of people. I mean, I've heard Mike and Bill Arender both say it's amazing how much we do for people and how few people we even have say thank you. I'm like, wow. Okay, but what's the best thing thank you we can give Mike Tuttle?
More business.
Doing what he does, right? I mean, turning it into business that he makes money, people that are being led to better life, better everything, so that, in a sense, one day we all get credit, right? I mean, we're in heaven and God says, good job.
I think it's about like the way that we talk to people. If they make a comment about something, something that's there, like something that's cool or whatever, and then saying it instead of like, yeah, that's cool, like, yeah, isn't this great that they're able to do this, and this is why, and this is what they're trying to accomplish, and this is what we get to be a part of. It's, and taking it a step further in your conversations while we're there.
Well, and then what I think of is, Tom Hopkins calls it the sharp angle. It's the turning it back on them in a positive kind of way to get them to do what's good for them. The question would be, don't you want to be able to do this? You see this, don't you want to be able to do that? Now, if they said no, really? Aren't you benefiting from this? Aren't you enjoying that? Don't you want other people to enjoy? Well, nobody ever cared about me. Wait, but you see how you're being cared about right here. Isn't this the way it's supposed to be, opposed to the way it is other places? Yeah, I guess you're right. How about you come around a little bit more? How about you come see the way we treat people and the way we do things and why good things are happening to good people. What? I thought good things happen to bad people. I thought you had to mess people over to get good things. No, not around here. No, that's not even the way it is in general. It might happen a little bit like that, but every time those things fall apart. And the longer you're around, I mean, when I can go back and say a show from 2000, 18 years ago, I mean, you know, other than Paul, you subtract 18, well, and a few of us, subtract 18 years from your age. That was going on when I was a little kid. And now look at what's going on with that. Man, I want to be a part of that. I want to be an important part of that. I want to be significant in the way that those things happen. But that's, you know, that's that mindset thing. That's the switching to, man, this ain't going to be easy. I'm going to have to change who I am. I'm going to have to make different decisions. But if I don't do it, what's the alternative? Yeah. So, okay, so back to what our schedule would be. So we definitely don't want to put the jet skis away. We definitely want to have something for the kids. Now, okay, first of all, and the safety side of me says don't put everybody on the spot. The dangerous side of me says put everybody on the spot. Who all's coming next Saturday? Everybody. Okay, good.
So this isn't really
You're
about
coming
the
twice?
schedule. No, I have something to say. So this isn't really about the schedule, but I think the music was a really good idea, and I think Sam did an awesome job of setting that up and placing it right so people could kind of hear it. And just from the moment that we walked up, there were some people already there that were helping, but it completely set the tone. We had it there all day, and I think that maybe especially for the non-Christians that, you know, we could come and be like, hey, just come eat some food with us. But then that sets the tone of like, this is a good environment with some good people.
Yeah.
So I think we need to continue to have music out there.
You writing some of this stuff down back
I
there?
got it.
It's recorded.
Yeah, right. Okay, so music. That was one of the things I was thinking is we had the blow up screen and projector that we could literally, like when it got dark, watch something outside. We could watch the ball game, or we could watch, you know, any kind of things. We could watch a movie, you know, that we could put outside and have the, you know, have it showing on the screen, have sound, have all that stuff. So that's an option as well that I wanted to throw out there. But again, we're not trying to create an event. We're not trying to just get people to show up. If at the end of the day, man, that was fun, and we had 50 people here, that's not what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to accomplish that, hey, that brand new person came for the first time and connected with the person that invited them, and they're going to be around. They're going to be at church, or they're going to be at the office, or we're going to be meeting with them again, or we're going to, you know, all of those things is what we're trying to accomplish there. And if anybody's not a part of that, do we really want them there? Now, again, we can make the case for let's get them there so they can see what it looks like, but let's make sure they're seeing what it looks like, that they're not just there having fun, and at the end of the day, you say, did you see what was going on there? No. Okay, wait, that's not what we're trying to accomplish here. I mean, just so y'all know, it costs a lot to make these things happen. I mean, I built up the jet skis from the other day and put oil in them and did all that. It was like $120. I mean, no problem. We can do that. We want to do that. But we don't want to do it just because. Yeah, we want to do it as an investment. as a look at the results of all of that. Look at our Robert, our pastor, says all the time, y'all's ministry is where people are. You're not asking them to come. You're going to where they're at. And even though we're saying come to our house, it's where they want to be. Not go sacrifice and come on, y'all, just come ride the jet skis. Okay, what else? Other thoughts? Other food? Anybody have ideas or preference? Again, we haven't really made the decisions, but it's kind of like we're thinking maybe training in the morning, but no breakfast, because in the past we've done breakfast. But I mean, that could go either way. But maybe a couple of people say, "Hey, I'll bring some donuts," and so then we have something there, so everybody can just come. But then we'll do a little training. We'll talk about a few things and kind of set the tone. Or maybe we just skip that and a few of you come over early and we all get crazy early in the morning. Do whatever we want to, and then as other people come around lunchtime, then we've already had our fun, and then now it's time to work. Now it's time to get the food out, get everything all set, make sure as people show up that, hey, here's this and here's that. Let me walk you around. Let me show you this. Hey, get on the Bobcat. We'll take you down over here. We'll do whatever. So maybe we need that team time before we have the rest come. But we all know that's going to be a whole lot of work between now and then too, right? On top of our work we already need to be doing. On top of our, if you're part-time, you got to go to work. I guess you have to, but you probably should. And then afterwards, things you're already involved in, but maybe, hey, everything has its place, right? You pick and choose, you decide when, where, how. Our business has been enormously important to us for a long, long time, but there's been plenty of times I've canceled appointments. I've done whatever I had to do to go be with my family or go be with one of you that needed me right during that time, whether it had anything to do with business at all, because that was seen as a bigger priority, right, for that time. So keeping all that in mind.
I was thinking the horseshoes were really good last time because I love seeing Paul and other people working with my kids, competing with them, but being able to have that one-on-one time. And I thought, oh, what if they had badminton or something like that? So that would get people out of their chairs and not on skis potentially, but at least interacting more than just around.
Something that more people could do.
And then you potentially could encourage more conversation.
Yep. Sounds good. Yeah. We definitely have several games. There's a lot of stuff, from the boot camp that we can get out that we could all do there. So yeah, absolutely. Time frame. Anybody have any thoughts on that? You like to try to smash it in a little bit. So, hey, come at 11 and we're done at 2. So that way maybe people could, even carve it out of their day, even if they've got other stuff going. Or do you like the come and go whenever you can? You like the let's invite some people for the this time and some people for the this time?
I like to set time frame. And I'm thinking of Mike too, Mike Tuttle, but he's got other folks coming in and out at different times. But he would say, y'all got a window right here. Right.
And then I'm leaving. That's what I got to do. I just got to leave. I'll go get them. say, okay, give me that jet ski. I'm leaving.
Run things, Annie.
Yeah. No, I'll bring Annie with me.
Even if we have a set time frame, I'd like it to be a little bit longer because some people may have things going on already at different times.
Mm-hmm.
So if we say it's only this time, then if they already have something for that time, they might come after if it was longer or before.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Okay.
I mean, whatever time we're going to end at, compensating. Never going to say it's ending at this time. Not to sound, shading like that, but it'll run on a little bit after that. I think there's a little bit of power to, hey, are you guys still out there? Somebody's like, hey, you guys still there? I want to be able to come out there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's my worth.
Yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend. I mean, I don't. My opinion, I'm like, I don't want to be on a. We're going to eat at this time, and if you don't hurry up, we're going to put it all up, and you won't get to eat anything. But at the same time, I can't just tell people, hey, we're doing something on Saturday. You want to come? Because then they're going to say, well, when is it?
Come when
Yeah, 6 a.m. No, I don't think I'm coming. But at the same time, there's like when we're doing UFC things, people say, oh, I got stuff going that day. I'm like, at 9 p.m.? Oh, no, it'll probably be over by then. I didn't realize it's starting then. Okay, well, come on over. Okay, yeah, sounds good. I'll see you. So I guess it depends on who we're inviting and where they're coming from and who they are and, if they have kids or not. And but we for sure don't want to have the big blow up slide and then there's no kids there, or nobody gets on it. I mean, that thing ain't cheap either. I think we spent $250 or something like that on that. To see that just sitting there is that can get under your skin real quick.
Oh, y'all can have to be on it.
That's right. I'll carry Paul up to the top. But you got to catch him at the bottom. Okay, Nicole, what else? We can make determination.
Well, the big thing with time is food. Are we going to do lunch and then we're going to stay through dinner? So then we got to have something else.
So do we want to prepare 2 meals?
Yeah, that's got to be determined.
No,
I would vote no, but it's y'all's facility. I mean, if it's your thinking, it's Memorial Day, I'm just going to hang out, let people come to midnight and have food for them. But if it's an event, there's no reason to do more than 1 meal.
Usually that's okay to eat cold, like a hot dog or something.
Okay, yeah. So, and that's actually what Nicole was talking about, was having like lunch, but then having some, hot dogs or whatever that could be cooked later. And lunch will probably be like taco kind of stuff, like we've done in the past.
Maybe like a
different kinds of meat.
Do it yourself type of thing.
Right.
Going to be, you want a hot dog, put it on a stick and go in the fire.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you want, however you want, no big deal. Yeah. So,
I've done something like that before, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we had the
quesadilla
thing where you just go make your own.
It'll probably be like, I think the last big get together, maybe 4th of July or Memorial Day, where we had the chicken and the beef, and you just went through and made tacos and nachos.
Yeah, so like tacos that can just be made. Yeah.
The quesadillas were fun, but it took a long time for everybody to.
You got a bug. Trying to get Cassie.
No, I just said take care of business.
You can put your feet down.
What do you think? Would snow cones be too difficult to do? Is that something that could be served? You're doing like a longer event, you can do it all day, but then again, you got more trash.
Yeah.
I think it would be something for the kids and for everybody else, and it's hot.
Right.
It would be great fun. It would just be getting the.
Have to get the machine and the ice.
Yeah.
If we could maybe
all of
borrow
that.
one from the church.
What we've done in the past, it just had like the ice things, like the
ice box,
had that.
But then that that is not just lunch and a hot dog. I mean, we need to have some things for snacks. If people are out on the water, that makes you starve, you know, really hungry.
Yeah. So then that means everybody has to be committed to, okay, what all do we need?
Right.
And like we were talking about sign up list. Well, I can't ever remember a time where a family got together and had a sign up list. You know, instead it's everybody is, hey, what needs to be brought? You know, what else needs to be done? Do I need to run to the grocery store? Do I need to take care of this? Do I need to take care of that? When you got 20 people saying that, it all just gets taken care of. It's not, dang it, they didn't show up. Now we don't have ketchup.
That's what I was thinking already, and what me and Sam kind of talked about was whenever we've done like the specific things that you have to bring in the past, if somebody doesn't show up and we're ready to eat lunch now, then do we go ahead without ketchup, without cheese, you know, something really important, or do we wait for them? And so I guess it's just a matter of people committed to be there. Yeah. So then what do other people bring? So
my thought there is all the more reason for we get together a little earlier, and then we're already there, and then we already know if we're missing this or missing that,
so we can run.
Somebody needs to take care of that.
So maybe we bring the stuff that is needed, and if somebody else is coming, they bring a snack for the afternoon or something.
Right. Bring chips, bring dessert, bring something like that.
You just say trading's going to be at the house anyways, right?
Right, yeah, we'll do everything at the house. Now, what we do is the question, you know, that we're trying to decide here. And again, we'll just make the determination. We're just trying to get everybody's input, and more than your input is your heart. We want your heart in what we're doing, and not just make it be a party. You know, it's intention. We're changing the world through having a party. You know, through getting together.
Well, it's great if we're all there ahead of time and we're all the hosts and hostesses. Somebody drives up, you help them get their stuff out of the car, you say hey to the kids, you get them settled, you point out things. It's not just, hey, we're all off on the jet skis, y'all fend for yourself. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's nice to have a bunch of people that can take care of people.
And, well, and with that said, there's even stuff on Thursday or Friday that needs to be done. Right. You know, making sure that places are mowed down the road where people can get out. You know, if they have to park on the side of the road and there's weeds that are as tall as their house, you know, that's not so good. And, you know, having some kind of game plan of who, what, when, where, and who's gonna make sure that when the water pulls up and there's a lake out in the middle of the yard that, you know, somebody goes and gets a shovel and makes sure it runs off. Or, I mean, just the things that happen when you get 40, 50, 60 people together, that doesn't happen when you got nobody. You know.
And a few people that know about the jet skis.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's,
I know what happened.
I kind of have factored in my head that everything's going to get broken. But hopefully not. Okay. What else? Other things?
So what was the decision? Are we doing two type thing? I mean, are we doing the hot dogs later and lunch, or what was the decision?
I mean, my thought is that we would have food. We would have a lot of food for lunch, and then if people come later, whatever's left is what they can eat. And then if we have chips, we have dessert, we have whatever.
And we can just kind of play it by ear. And if there's a lot of people left over and not a lot of food, then we could go get hot dogs. You know, like if that's.
Yeah. So we're not really preparing dinner. We're just having a big lunch that could be extended.
Yeah. And also figuring out, is there going to be a lot of kids or not?
Right.
There's no point of y'all getting that and then there's 2-3 kids.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, we can't wait until the last minute. I mean, you know, those kind of things we have to reserve, you know, pretty far ahead of time. And again, this is a discussion we should have had a good while ago, but truth is, 4th of July, we'll be doing it again. So this is a regular thing that we do. This is not discussion for party planning. This is training. This is how we build a business, how we build relationships, so that, in a sense, people are coming to us. That we're being able to work all this together. Move things forward together. So
is there something we should say to the people we're inviting that aren't necessarily like part of our group already to get them thinking about the purpose of the day before they get there? Like, any guests, should we say something like, we're not just hanging out? Or
yeah, I mean, if it's their first time, I would say no. Getting them to show up is the key. If they've got other things going, hey, let me tell you why you want to come to this instead of go to that. That would be where I would put my energy into people that have not been around. But there's all these people that have been around. I mean, like I said, we probably got 200 or 300 people that have been to our house that aren't really bought in whatsoever to what we're trying to accomplish. Have we even communicated to them what we're trying to accomplish? So this training that we're doing right here needs to be told to other people, and especially all of those people that have been around. Either they've been here to the office, they've been to our church, they've been to boot camp stuff or retreat stuff, or whatever. They've been around this environment. To communicate to them those things, I think it would be very important. That, hey, like one of my friends, I asked him one time, I said, what does your ministry look like? I used his name. Let's say his name is Joe Smith. I said, what does Joe Smith's ministry look like? Well, I can't really answer that. Well, you need to be able to answer that, don't you? Where are you going? What are you plugging into? What are you doing that you can invite people to, and their life can be better? And if it's nothing, shame on you. You're taken out. It doesn't even matter that you're alive. And that's not to be mean. That's encouraging. That's, hey, come on and be around something that, and again, y'all keep all this in mind when you read the article from Mike Rowe, because, I mean, that's exactly what he's saying, is we can all be a part of the problem or be a part of the solution. When we seek safety, we're part of the problem. When we seek dangerousness, that's when we're part of the solution. Anybody need more specifics on that? Like what you would say to them, or how you would say things, or how ugly you might need to get? Because could we all admit we don't challenge people near like we should? We don't challenge ourselves near like we should, so then we feel bad challenging others. Hey, commit to that. Do that. Choose that. Because that's where real friendships come from. It's not from hanging out and we again rode the jet skis together. Yeah, that was fun. That was memorable, and we want to do that. But if afterwards we aren't saying, hey, what's getting better in your life? Nothing? Well, let's change that. If we're not doing that, then why did we do the first part? Just so we could feel a little better? Feeling better doesn't do anything for anybody. We call it the emotional bank. If you got zero balance, then you need to put some emotional deposits in that bank with that person. And then guess what you can do now? You can take some withdrawals. That you can take out a little bit. Sometimes you can take out a big old withdrawal. Like you can have a fist fight with that person. But you put in so much that's not going to get you to a negative balance. That's going to keep you maybe even at a positive balance. I mean, why is it that two brothers can beat each other up and end up with bloody lips and still love each other? there's been some emotional deposits be put into there. All day, every day, we need to be putting emotional deposits in people's lives. And it can be as simple as just a text that we send them and, man, I appreciate you. Man, I'm glad you're in my life. Man, I can't wait for our future together. Hey, I'm doing this. You ought to do that. And then sometimes it's what are you doing, man? Quit that. Don't act that way. Don't be doing those things. That's not getting us anywhere. And don't spend time with the wrong people. And they'll tell you real fast who they are. That doesn't mean they can't change, right? All of us can change. But if we put too much time into the wrong people, we'll get so worn out, we won't have any energy to put into the right people. We'll get, how many people do you know that are burned out, don't have any more energy anymore? Yet they have lots of stuff to give, but no energy to give it with. And that's how Satan loves it. Oh, you taken out? Good. I don't have to worry about you.
So we need a start time for us, a start time to tell people what time we're going to eat, for them to be there and what time we're going to eat. And then are we going to possibly have something, movie or something outside? Because if we're going to play that by ear, it kind of needs to be set up easy to get to, ready to go. So
okay, so I'll make some decisions here, and y'all tell me if you don't like it. So 9 o'clock at the house. No real training, just all of us together. And we can go ahead and get the jet skis out. We'll get them launched. We'll play around together. We'll all talk business, talk people that are coming, talk what we said and what worked and what didn't work, and we'll be each other's training. That good. Then we'll plan to eat lunch at noon. So we'll invite people. Hey, you can come over a little bit early, but we're gonna actually have lunch at noon. So we'll have the table set up. We'll have the bounce house slide set up. We'll have games set up. We'll have all that done, and we'll have the food ready at noon. And for the most part, that's when you invite people. That's what they do, is they get there to eat. If you invite them and they get there at 11 and then you eat at noon, as soon as they eat, they leave. So usually it's we're going to eat at noon, be there at noon. And if they say, can we come early? Yeah, no problem. But for the most part, people are going to be there at noon. Then we'll eat, and then we'll have all that stuff for everybody to have fun together. We'll just hang out, be there, be intentional, getting people directions to get there, going and getting stuff if we have to, serving the people that are around. And that might mean, hey, come get on the jet ski and let's go have some fun. That might be, hey, let's get on the water slide, or let's go for a ride, or let's run to the grocery store, or any of those kind of things. Just being there together, and then everybody can leave when they want. We'll tentatively plan to have a movie when it gets dark, but that's at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So a lot of people won't stay that long. And if we all choose, okay, all of our people are gone, we're tired, we're all bloody from the jet ski, and we want to go home, then no problem. But we can still have that prepared, available, where we can watch something late that night, stick around, talk about what we accomplished, talk about who we're going to see and when and how, and then be done 10 o'clock. Or whenever the movie's over, if it's after that. So, that all sound pretty good?
Yeah. I think for the movie, like, I don't know that it'd be worth setting up like the screen outside if we're not even sure we're gonna do it. You know, I mean, the TV downstairs is plenty big enough, a lot of seats. So I think inside.
Okay. So maybe only get it out if there's like 40 people still there.
Yeah.
So otherwise, we could just go in and not have to worry about getting eaten up by the mosquitoes and watch a movie or the game or fights or whatever.
So if people are still there around dinner time, are we just doing
leftovers, whatever's there, or hey, the 10 people that are there, y'all want to make a Sonic run, or run to the grocery store and grab a few things, or whatever. Yeah, that would be my thought. I mean, again, like Thanksgiving night, right? You
get the leftovers.
You either get out the leftovers, or if there's not enough leftovers, somebody run and grab a pizza and let's do whatever. Yeah.
So is everybody good with the whole like chicken and beef in the crock pot and that kind
tortillas
of stuff? And chips and
That's
chips.
great.
And
I can bring my crock pot.
What kind of turkey?
wheat. Okay, so then the next thing after that is the builder school, and in a sense, it's the same exact thing. It's just in Dallas on Friday and Saturday instead of out at the house. There, we probably won't have jet skis. We probably won't have the bounce house. But we could do stuff like that. I mean, we still have about a month away, but like Cassie said, memorable. Okay, you went and it was good. I mean, for sure, the builder school is designed to go and be good, but building that team atmosphere is about where you went to eat afterwards, where you went and hung out. If everybody stays overnight, how late did you stay up talking? Where'd you get up and go have breakfast? I could probably, last time Tyler was talking about bringing our whole team to breakfast. If we wanted to do that and wanted to all get up real early and go have breakfast somewhere, he'd probably buy some really nice breakfast. So again, just be thinking about that stuff. We won't go over that all, today, but like next Saturday when we're together, we should be talking about that. We should be talking about, okay, who are we getting and what can we do and where are we staying and what's the schedule? How does that look? What can we do to keep growing this group? And that was really, when I look back at it, the one of the main things that helped us to get to RVP is we pulled people in and we wouldn't let them leave. I mean, it was, I don't care. You're going to have to move because I know where you live. So I'm coming by your house. I'm going to be nice to you. I'm going to make you feel bad not being nice to me because we're friends now and we're in business together and we're moving forward together. And sure enough, all those people helped us get to RVP. Now, truth is, when we made RVP, almost immediately all that fell apart. But we knew what it looked like at that point. Those people kind of went on and did whatever, and a lot of them regret the decisions that they made there. But we learned that, and we were able to build a whole new team, and that team was stronger, and people understood how to do things versus us doing it all. And that's kind of where we're at right now, is that same kind of thing of we've chased everybody down and said, hey, come on. And some of you have caught that. Some of you haven't caught that. Some of you are still showing up on Tuesday night by yourself. That is not the way this works. That's not how you influence people. You're showing up on Saturday training by yourself. That's not how you do this. This is getting people in and around, and it's not scolding them into you need to come. It's encouraging them. It's being challenging to them. It's talking to them 4, 5, 6 times that week so that when it's time, we're all in this together. And, you know, things are happening because, you know, some people are getting that. Okay, so with that, Nicole, if you would pull up POL, you probably have to log back in. And we're going to look at a few things here. The first thing that I'm thinking is the San Francisco trip that's coming up. And Paul is like this far from being on track to winning. But, I mean, I can speak from experience. This far feels like this far. That, you know, there's been so many times where I've been so close, and I'm like, I've already put in so much effort. I don't know that I can do that much more. But Paul's right there. And so y'all keep encouraging him. And I mean, he is like one of the top people by many measures in the state, in the nation, regional leader. You know, the money that he's making, the people that he's helping, the assets under management that he has. And so, Nicole, if you would like put that up there.
What is it you want me to go to?
Just to show the over here on the left, like scroll down. No. So it's got, I thought it had San Francisco in there. Didn't it? Well, here. I got a poster for you.
All right.
So hang this up over your bed, and every time you wake up, look at it and say, dang it, I got to find some more investment.
Did you want the video or something?
No.
Okay.
No.
There it is.
And then over go down. So we got the South Beach contest that's still going on, and we kind of rearranged here. We got so everybody will, you know, have in front of you things that we got that's coming up, and so we got a few more weeks left for the Fontainebleau, and both y'all got reset last month. By several measures, you still got a good chance. Definitely when you got somebody shooting for it, it makes it easier to win yourself. You know, that's how we won probably our first 10 trips, is other people would be fighting for it, and we're like on track just because they're fighting for it. Right. So that's pretty cool. But definitely, you know, y'all are the closest. So I had a thing here for the Fontainebleau, so y'all could probably share this, but all of the things there that are coming up that we're gonna go experience. Hopefully, y'all experience it with us too. So appreciate y'all. Okay, so then for everybody, go ahead and click on this right here, or it might already be up back there. But yeah, there we go. So this is the website for the Hard Rock, Caribbean, Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, whatever you want to label it. I don't know. I'm thinking like Caribbean. That's probably. But it's got on here, you can scroll down. It's got all kinds of different things about where we're going and what we're doing. Look at this part right here. This all-inclusive. Look at what all-inclusive means. 5-star deluxe accommodations. 5-star is the best. There's an agency out there, you know, like we say, you know, we're rated this and rated that. Hotels are rated and resorts are rated by this organization, and 5-star is the best. And once you experience 5-star, you'll know what 5-star really means. But this is a 5-star rated resort. Fine dining, 24-hour room service, that is included. That you don't have to pay when you go. Snacks and poolside service. I can tell you, we've been to a whole lot of resorts that you don't eat the snacks. The $6 candy bar in your room is sitting right there the whole time. But if you eat it, it's going to be on your room tab at the end, and you're not going to be happy because they're not going to let you leave until you figured out how to pay for that.
And if you eat it and go to the drugstore and buy one to replace it, they're going to charge you $10.
Yeah, they have like a electronic thing that detects whether it's there.
That would be the way to
Whether
replace
you
it.
took it or
But
not.
they still
If
have
you lift it out.
And this is all included. In-room minibar. Y'all hear what Glenn Williams said about that? Said that free alcohol and Primerica people kind of messes us up 9 months later in the business. Free Wi-Fi. How about that? Land sports. So like all kinds of things that you know, like a bicycle or that kind of stuff that you just go, hey, I want it, and here's my room key, and you get to do it. He said, I may have played that in here. He said that the number one gripe online about this place is you can't just go and have fun there if you're not staying there.
Oh,
So like everybody rated it, highest rating, except for all of the people that said we were staying somewhere else and we went over there to try to experience it and they wouldn't let us in. We don't like that place. So for the people who get,
What do you mean by that?
so like
If you're not a room-
if you have a room key, you get to do everything. If you don't have a room key, you can't even pay to do it. You can't come over and get anything or do anything there or anywhere. It's only for the people who stay there. And then non-motorized water sports. So I'm guessing they don't have jet skis there, but they probably got like paddle boats or the big old. Y'all ever see like the big 3-wheeler thing? It looks like a what do you call those?
Big wheel.
Big wheel, yeah, and that's what it is. It's a wheel that's like this big, and it's got like cleats on it, where when you paddle it, you get to go around on the water out there. Again, stuff that I wouldn't know about till we go and experience it. The fitness center with instructors, where you can go work out while you're there. All kinds of daily activities, kind of like being on a cruise, where they got the ice sculpture thing going on over here, and they got the card games going on over there, and they got whatever you want to go enjoy and be around, and then the nightly stuff. So like it's the Hard Rock, y'all. I mean, there's going to be bands and people playing and all kinds of stuff. Unlimited phone calls to the U.S. That's interesting. I wouldn't even think about that part. But I mean, if you're there and you got your cell phone and it costs $2 a minute to be able to pick up the phone in the room and make unlimited calls, pretty cool. And then taxes and gratuities. And I was thinking that wasn't really the case. I was thinking that you're supposed to tip whoever's around, but according to that, everything is included. I guess there will be gifts for sale, but there will be nothing that you have to pay for because of being there and consuming anything that they're doing. So this is what's on the line. This is what we're fighting for. This is what we're after. Go ahead and scroll on down. This is on
We will
your
have to have our passports.
ma'am.
We will have to have passports.
Yes, you do have to have passports, so make sure and do that. 15 pools, 4 swim-up bars, 3 quick kid-friendly pools. I'm excited about this, y'all. This is going to be a really cool thing, but not near as excited thinking that we might go by ourselves than that we might have 4, 5, 6 couples from our office that go. So, but you don't win these trips just by accident. You win them because you're more focused than the other 124,000 people in the company that don't win. It's really just that simple. It's when they're messing around, you're getting after it. You're doing the things that they aren't willing to do. Go ahead and scroll on down. That could be you. You have to be from New Jersey, though. And then the trip is in February. If you would go back up to the top, So at the very top, it's got things you can click on here, and one of them is downloads. So right there where it says downloads, how cool is that? The little tick that goes around when you're on there. So this is wallpapers for your computer. So like you can go in there, right click on it and say, make it my wallpaper. And so that's what we already have on here. And then down here is wallpapers for your phone. So you go log on to POL, go to this right here, and click on that, and it'll let you put that as your wallpaper on your phone. So everybody's working on that. 2019. Doesn't that sound like futuristic? Won't you be rich by 2019? I mean, that's way on down there. You got to make that decision, though, that determination. So that's there. All the qualifications, go ahead and click on that. It has on here how many slots are in your particular competition, so you can go find where you're at and make sure that you're hitting all the buttons. Does it have more down there? Licensing, product categories, client solutions. So right now, 1,800 slots, and then the trip again, the middle of February. Okay, so go back over to POL, just to, go to competition scoreboard and production leaders. Okay, so let's do this. Go to district, month today, Texas. And premium. And scroll down just a little bit.
There you go.
Look at there.
Right.
Now I want to know why your name doesn't have an edge at the end. Aren't you a part of our team?
Under your team.
So you can go on to POL and I think they call it like PEP your name, do the partnership thing, and you can put your name on the end. Or put edge on the end of your name, so then we can pick you out real easy when we see you on the leaders bulletin here. So number 18 in the state is Melinda. But guess what? There's somebody right across the parking lot that's kicking your butt.
Wow.
Better get him.
You better close today.
Yes.
So we found you some competition. I'll make sure and introduce you next time. But here's the thing: she's not going to stay a district forever. So she'll be moving to the division category, to the regional category. So then that's why, that's what we were talking about the other night. You got to find somebody to compete with that's a person, not just, how about that one? That there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, all the time I'll pull up the leaders bulletins and I'm like, okay, I got to beat that person, that person, that person. But then now that I know them all, now I'm like, I really am not going to let that person beat me. There's no way I'm going to just sit back and let that happen. And so great job being on the leaders bulletin, being right there. I mean, you can get ahead of her today. But the point is, I mean, she's making it happen for about 3 or 4 months now. I mean, she's been one of the top district leaders in the company. At the March Madness, she was way up there. I mean, her very first, she just got licensed.
That's the one that wrote like 10 grand or something.
It was pretty close to it. It was way up there. Her very first month, and so again, that's some great situation there. But again, at the district leader level, so we want to get you to division, but keep competing with somebody who is willing to compete, and she's proven to be that. Okay, then switch to division. Same thing. Yeah. And so scroll on. Oh, well, now you don't have to scroll down. So we got the edge on the end, so that's good. And 3745, number 13 in the state. Yeah, pretty awesome. If you're looking for some competition, I don't know if you met him or not, but Colton Wildman is in Houston. He was at the boot camp. He's a sharp young guy, and is in Jose Torres's team. Okay. And I mean that would be perfect competition. Somebody who's right there with you, a little bit ahead of where you're at, but definitely you could get on and do the Fight Club challenge thing. What's that?
We'll be over that today.
There you go. So then definitely challenge him at that point.
Challenge him before you close the app.
I'm gonna get you.
Absolutely.
But again, there's always more to achieve, and it's not, man, I just want to win. It's I want to accomplish things that really matter, and the measures of it is what am I getting done? If I'm not getting, if I got good goals, but nothing's getting done, okay, I got to focus more on those goals. If I'm getting a little bit done, but I got no goals, that's short-lived. It's going to fall apart. It's got to be some things that are deep down in you that you say, man, I just want to make a difference. I want to get after this and do some things that really matter. And you find other people that have that same common thing, and that's the idea of the Fight Club. I mean, the fact that that we've challenged the Norman Bay Shop, and I mean they're doing really good and kicking our butt right now, but not in all measures. I just passed him in income, but then Rodney Reed just passed me in income. Oh, and I'm like, so competition makes you do things that you wouldn't always normally do. Now, Rodney just went up because his son Brandon is on track to $200,000 this year. If he does what he's done in the last 4.5 months, this whole year, he'll make $200,000 this year. And because of watching our older brother Brandon get after it, Danielle is Rodney's #1 regional leader in his office right now. So that's a part of this business too. Know that as your family grows and as families that you bring in, as they grow, I mean, you want to watch a parent smile. Talk to them about how one day their little kids will come into business with them and be successful. I mean, I've never told anybody that and somebody rolled their eyes. It's always like, man, that would be so great. Absolutely, I want to do that. So good job to all y'all. Congratulations on where you're at. District leaders, that is a focus that we need to have, is getting people to district leader. Glenn Williams has already really put that out. In 2017 through the end of May, there was 754 people who got promoted to district leader. So far this year, the number is at 792. So it's about a 5% growth already in the company. Truth is, our office, Valencia's leading the way on that. He got his promotion, and not only did he get his promotion, he's gotten qualified twice since then. So he's showing that he's not a flash in the pan district leader. He's somebody who will be consistent at what we do and how we do things, and then starting to build a team, and got people really moving forward together. And that's when you got unlimited energy, when you don't want to go to bed at night and you can't stay asleep in the morning. You want to make some things happen because you got people working with you. So good job to everybody who's working on that. And again, that's something that we want to be talking about all the time. The idea of sprint to district. We haven't necessarily, that's investment wise. Actually, that's a split between us. So they should be like #1 by way far. because we've done like $500,000 in investments this
Picture
month.
was up there yesterday.
So great job to them.
They
But,
just got another check.
yeah, they got some more that go in by the end of the month. Their picture will be up there.
There you go. It was there yesterday. I looked at the leaders yesterday. Maybe it's an initial, switch to initial securities for the month. Maybe that's what.
Okay, so Lake Day that we've got for May, the triple play May. So again, Primerica's giving all this extra credit for everything that we're doing. But for us, we're doing our Climbers Club as a leg day. Now, we're having a leg day next Saturday, right? So that's not all that special. No, this is going to be special. What our plan is, as long as we have, so far, Corvette and Dulce have already won. A few of you are on track. Well, just need like a recruit or need a little bit more premium or something like that. Yeah, there you go. Man, that's an old picture.
Yeah, we need a new one.
Babies. As long as we have some more couples that win, our plan is to rent like a pontoon boat and have the jet skis with it and go out on the lake and be able to go and have people just have fun and have food and lunch out on the lake and then have the jet skis there to ride around and have some fun there. So y'all make sure and get your 1 by 1,000 knocked out for this month. And again, a few of you are just right there. And then our securities apps are really taking off. I think, how many have you done? 5?
Yeah, 5 this morning. 5 or 6.
Yeah. And so, and then everybody had, what we ended up with last month that ended up counting for this month all, hit May 1st. So, I mean, I didn't actually look at the number, but I think we're like 22, 3, 4 for this month already. So everybody, make sure you're paying attention to your number of, so you get a bonus for 10 apps, 20 apps, or 25 apps. You can get as much as $100 just by setting up 10 new securities apps this month. And then promotions in motion on the line. Again, our most recent winner on that was Valencia. And then the actual promotions every step of the way, making sure you don't just stick where you're at. I mean, it's really just a matter of doing just a little bit. You'll see that our business is not difficult. The difficult part is getting yourself out of bed, getting yourself off the couch, getting yourself to do just a little bit. And then the Caribbean contest, we'll update this at the end of the month and have a bunch of details up here for that. And then the homecoming, the convention, we're just over a year away from the big convention in Atlanta. 50, 60, 70,000 people there. What you don't want is to be alone there. You don't want to go to the convention and it just be you. And for most of us, we kind of looked at it right now. Dang it, okay, my team doesn't look the way I need it to look going into the convention. And then what happens out of bringing a good team to the convention is people come back, quit their jobs, go full time, act crazy. I mean, do things that they've never been willing to do before because they see, hey, this is for real. This isn't just some little deal that we're doing. And so. So again, make sure that we're focused on that. And then, think any other things in the back, we did a few posters there, like securities posters. So we get several things like that on a regular basis. So we're gonna kind of like keep those updated, maybe even add some other ones up there, because our culture of investments here. I mean, we whip a lot of offices. We're getting real close. Matter of fact, Nicole, if you would go to competition scoreboard and contest leaders and do not South Beach, but the Race to the Bay. I didn't see the other one is there. US, yep, right there. And then on target. So scroll down just a little bit. Yeah, we're number 41 in the whole company right now as an office, y'all. I mean, and this is over a period of time. That's show. It's not just a flash in the pan thing. I mean, we really got some good things going here, and I mean, in a sense, we're just getting started. We're starting to reap the rewards of 5, 10, 15, 20 years of building relationships. And so, absolutely, that's where we're at, y'all. That's now again, that's on the investment side. We got to get our premium up. Our premium is actually a little bit down from where it was a year ago. Our recruiting is up a little bit from where it was a year ago. But again, those two things are things that we want that it just really requires some extra activity. But this investment side is just going to keep growing. I mean, it's going to be where when you find somebody with $1 million, we'll be able to get that $1 million, no problem. But don't go looking for $1 million. Go looking for $25 accounts all day, every day, setting up hundreds of them. And then out of those hundreds, you're going to have people say, you know what, my brother is about to leave his job and he's got $100,000 down in his job, and I already told him he's putting it with you whether he likes it or not. Okay, yeah, sounds good. And that, I mean, honestly, that's how we get most of our big stuff. It's not because we're so fancy. It's because we're so trustworthy that we're going to be faithful to people. We're not going to just let them go. And so again, that's where we're at. And just so y'all know, run over here to the personal. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna check on you, Bob. He's almost there. There. Oh, where is it?
Down lower, I got edge on there.
Dang it. Okay, there it is. Okay, so 1,850, and then so about 200,000 to the last place person there. He's got it in the works. We just gotta encourage him, pray for him, pat him on the back. Woo, Paul. Woo, Paul.
Let me do 50 of your money, 50,000.
There you go. Okay, and then I guess right back. Why don't we look at the new contest, Rock the Caribbean? I didn't see that's up there. So RVP, where we're at. Let's see. Go ahead and do edit right up here, and
you can just do Control F.
Oh, okay, and then there you go.
That was fine. Number 237 out of how many?
338, 237. Then on the measure,
Out of just how many?
Yeah, that's
600.
600.
Yeah. Good. So go ahead and click
right in the middle of it all.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it just put in the last weekend of April.
Oh, okay.
And then you can put
Yeah,
in
they don't
May's
even, it's so new. It doesn't even have our business that we've done in May.
Yeah, nothing.
It's only April business that's being shown up there. So
They gave us credit for stuff we did
in April.
Yeah.
April 27th through the end of the month.
Oh, yeah.
So,
You got the 2,000 points for
Yeah.
It does say score without incentives though. That's 73,000.
Yeah, it's just not showing there.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Thanks, 100,000. All right, y'all. So things are going good. So tomorrow night, phone blitz. Tuesday night, making sure we got lots of new people here. And then next Saturday, we'll have the big thing at the house, starting at, what do we say? 9 o'clock.
9 for us, but for invites, noon.
Inviting, we will have lunch at noon. Exactly. All right.
Everybody thank Nicole for making the office look awesome
looks
with
awesome,
me.
Nicole.
Right.
Definitely, I won't influence.
And secondly, thank you, Johnny, for today about sharing what's in your mind. We can't read your mind, but whatever drum's being beat is probably what's going to be heard.
Yeah.
And so thank you. I needed to hear about where's my frame of mind on a weekend when we do something like that. So thank you for bringing that up and leading with that.
Absolutely. We're in a good spot, y'all, but where we're going doesn't even compare to where we're at right now. Thanks for saying that. All right, thank y'all for being here.
All right. I got about 50,000 questions.
All right.
I'll hold it about 15.
Just that.
No, what I want to ask you was, okay, so we were watching scoreboard yesterday, right? So we did the score 1,000 yesterday. We were already at 637,000. So that it shows we only have 5 initial trades from now in February or whatever. But we just did 4, so all these those ain't count yet. So that puts, I mean, like this was 4,000 points, but it's like way up there. But then the 50,000 points, if we take away the initial trades, 670 is on track to go. So 687 puts us like 4 places in there. Okay. So when do they count that?
No, what are you counting again?
February through May contests.
Okay.
So I'm counting about 1,000, 50,000 points for all. That was a triple play deal. Right. So when do they add the 50,000 points? So okay, so there's not.
But there, I mean, you can go click on other people and see that they don't have it yet either.
Okay.
So that's something to keep in mind.
That's what I was trying to say. Like,
People that are going to get that. Now, you know it's doubled to 100,000.
For qualified or
for everything. For 1x1, for qualified, and for playing up.
Okay.
So you can get up to 300,000 points on all 3 of those things.
So I need to go look and see that out of that credit there, right?
Right.
But what I was looking at too is like my day shop is about around 100,000. February, I'm not like 1,000.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of these jobs. They're only on track. Because people that are way above me, I understand that. People that are way above me, they're based like one guy here on track. He's like 6, like 30. He's a division leader. He did a big trade. God has given us a series license. Got 3 people licensed, but he's only got the whole from February through whatever. So I know that I had like 110,000 investment because got about 11,000.
Well, and there's the minimums that everybody's got to make sure of. It's premium. Well, there's no money. Yeah.
It's a $4,000 premium requirement.
Right.
He's done all that first.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So now it's going to come down to the extra credit. So anybody who was on track at the beginning of the month and doesn't get extra credit this month not going to have a chance because there's so many people in that position that got the reset. So you get that 300,000, so you add that to 650, then that's 950. Then you add on top of that what you have to do to get the extra credit. That puts you at probably $1,050,000 or somewhere around there. Then the big fee is going to be people who pass tests.
Okay, so that's going to be
because that's 52,000 more.
It's not that hard to win the contest. It's a matter of focus.
And focus on the right thing.
Right.
Yeah. Because right now, I mean, you need to build a team, you need to build premium, you need to make money, those kind of things. But to win the contest, you're going to get those 3 things done. Because again, if there's and it has almost everything. I mean, you can go set up 25 investment accounts.